Welcome back to the Wild Ones Pro Show after stage 4 of the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. I'm Jimmy. I am back with producer Emily.
Hello.
And cycling journalist... I can't say journalist. I can never say journalist. Cycling journalist Katie.
Hello. So thank you to Garmin and Van Rysel for supporting this show. Before we get into the highlights, we ended yesterday's episode with question marks hanging over GC favourite Demi Vollering. What's the update on that, Katie?
She did start this morning's stage, thankfully, after being cleared for concussion. She gave this interview before the race.
Demi, how did you sleep and how do you feel today?
My sleep was luckily good, so that's a good thing. And I feel okay. I mean, it was a hard impact yesterday. I hit my head also a bit, but with the team we did really good examinations. And for now, it doesn't look like I have a concussion, so that's the good news. So yeah.
Yeah, so Demi was spotted getting off the team bus this morning quite late. She did a very short warm-up apparently, and she had kinesio tape on the back of her neck, so obviously a bit uncomfortable. After a heavy impact like that, there's bound to be some soreness, you know, and she's probably not feeling the best she's ever felt, but hopefully it's not enough to hold her back from really giving it everything that she's prepared for at this tour.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was lying in bed sort of scrolling through social media just trying to get updates, and I was thinking it would be obviously so rubbish for her, but also so rubbish for the whole tour if, you know, to take out such a great competitor like her so soon. So I'm really glad to see her back. I hope that it is just superficial injuries and hopefully she can just ride through it and come back to her fighting best, ready for the stages ahead.
For sure.
So do you want to talk us through what happened in today's stage?
Sure, yes. With the threat of crosswinds, there was some tension in the bunch today, and as such, it took a long while for the breakaway to become established. And when it did, it was just one solo rider at first, Maud Reinbeek of Volker Wessels again. The bunch were keeping her on a very tight leash, but two more riders managed to counter-attack, Franzi Koch of Picnic Post-Nl and Tota Magalis of Movistar. The trio built a slender lead of around 1 minute 30, and the reasons for the tension became clear as the bunch stretched, heading through a village and out onto an exposed section of the course. And with Visma and FDJ and Moore setting an infernal tempo on the front, there were temporary splits in the bunch, with Cedrine Cabal, Sarah Gigante, Liana Lippert among the riders caught out in the second group. And poor Kristen Faulkner, really struggling, dropped at the back of the bunch following a difficult start to the race. It all came back together again in time for the intermediate sprint, which unfolded exactly as it did yesterday, with Lorena Wiebes in green, holding off Marianne Vos in yellow. And heading into the final 40 kilometres, the pace was very high, with more crosswind sections threatening. The breakaway trio became a duo as Reinbeek dropped, and SD Works and the other sprint teams controlled the gap at around 1 minute. There were no more echelons or any crosswind action to speak of, so it all stayed together. The lead duo were working well together, but had just 20 seconds left of their gap with 10 kilometres remaining as the peloton gathered ominously behind them.
And then we saw a couple of crashes start to appear.
Yeah, obviously with the tension and the speeds as high as they are. Once again, the first one we saw was road furniture based. It was one of those sort of dividers going around a corner. It was Picnic's Nienke Vinke who came to grief. A couple of other riders held up in that one. They all got back up and went on their way. And again, we saw Kristen Faulkner crashing, and she's just having a bit of a shocker. She hit a curb and kind of fell, but it was quite low pace, thankfully. She was soon back up and on her bike. The two breakaway riders were caught with 4 kilometres to go, and with 2k to go, Lotte Kopecky was leading the bunch for Lorena Wiebes. She handed over to Anna van der Breggen, with Kim LaCour also at the front of the pack at that point. Heading into the final kilometre, Wiebes had to pick her way through a couple of riders to find her line, but once she opened up the taps, there was no stopping her. She powered to her second consecutive victory, her 5th Tour de France stage win in total, beating Vos by a bike length, and with UAE Team ADQ's Lara Gillespie storming into third to take her first podium at the race. Really impressive stuff from her.
It was great to see Vos still being competitive in this, but Wiebes it just feels like she's in a different league, doesn't it? I think we've already said this, but I can't express it enough. It's a different athlete, different caliber of athlete.
She's insanely good. Like when it comes to women and sprints, it's just so rare to see her beaten. And she had competition in the previous years, and then it's getting less and less. Like she just is incredibly dominant. Vos being up near to her today again. Like she's just one step behind.
It's almost a bit like the Poggy effect in that it gets to a point where people stop bothering. And that's perhaps what we're seeing here is she's so dominant that just teams are starting to go, well, it's not even worth us putting a team in to go for green because how do you beat her? You can't.
So what does this mean for the jerseys?
Not a lot of changes today. Voss retains yellow. Wiebes extends her lead in green. And with just 1 point available in the QOM competition, Elise Chabet will be in polka dots once again on tomorrow's stage. And Julie Bago hangs on to white.
Nice, so no change there. We did see just one single DNS this morning.
Yeah, Rebecca Kerner of Uno X Mobility was our only non-starter. She withdrew from the race due to illness.
Jimmy, I heard a very vicious rumour that you have some data for us.
Yes, Jimmy's Data Corner, as we've now started to name it. I suppose it does make sense because I am in a corner with Tax and Garmin over my left shoulder, which I guess is the data zone. So Marie Lynette of FDJ, she uses a Garmin Edge 840 for yesterday's stage. So stage 3, she completed 165 kilometers with 1,200 meters of elevation. She had a normalized power of 210 watts with a max power of 951 watts. And for anyone that thinks, yeah, well, I can do that, try doing it with an average heart rate of just 144.
Oh, wow. So what can we deduce from that? Pretty chill.
I'd say when you consider that the female athletes are typically lighter than the male athletes, it's like for like, really. Mm-hmm. They clearly get a lot of benefit from being in bunches, and when they need to put the power down, they can put the power down. But I would say that the men's peloton is more efficient. It's bigger. It sticks together for longer. It's tighter. It's more dialed in, I guess you would say, and therefore when the male peloton has an easy day, it's a really easy day, whereas when the women's peloton have an easy day, they're still working, but they're not grafting.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, that there is less places to hide, really, because it is a smaller peloton. And we have seen it breaking up more, especially with crosswinds and things like that. And anyone who wants to put the hammer down at the front of the bunch, we see it quickly get stretched out because there are just less of them. So yeah, it's a good point.
Shall we do a round of our alternative jerseys?
Yes, I've been waiting for this.
Well, my brain is so mush now that I'm not sure if we've done it yet for the women's. We haven't, have we?
No, we named our doomed rider already, and I think based on today, she would still be our doomed rider.
Yes. So our current doomed rider is Kristen Faulkner.
Yes.
And she retains it once again because she came off a bike again with 6K to go, as we've already said. She is having a very disastrous tour thus far.
So for our neon jersey, so that's for the rider drawing attention to themselves, we had to give it to Franziska Koch of Picnic Post NL. The German champion has been the breakaway queen so far this Tour de France Femmes. She's attacked every day. She's very visible in her national champions jersey, and she's obviously really well up for it, and it's great to see. So yeah, she's definitely drawing our attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's class. I love it's like the Abrahamson. It's just like I love seeing aggressive riders that just throw themselves off the front as much as possible and see where it goes. Usually nowhere, sometimes somewhere.
A magic note has appeared on my screen saying she got the combative prize today. Is that from Benny? Oh, thank you, Benny. She got the combative prize today. Very well deserved.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Yes.
Speaking of combativity, did you see yesterday the Arkea rider who got the combativity prize?
Yeah.
In absolute floods of tears. It was really quite moving to see how moved she was by receiving that prize, and it just puts into perspective how big this race is for the women, and how even, it's not even a jersey, it's just a red number, but to be named with a prize and to be able to step up onto that podium at the Tour de France Femmes, it's life-changing for some of these riders. So that was really lovely to see.
Mm. Well, this is it. I mean, for a lot of these women, they would have been coming through at a point where they wouldn't have thought they would have ever had an opportunity potentially to ride in a Tour de France, because up until recently, it didn't exist. So now to not only be riding it, but to be receiving merit for the work you have done, I can see why it's such a big deal.
Yeah, and especially for a French rider. So I wanted to name her so she gets a shout out on the pod as well. It's
Nice.
Clémence Latimier. So chapeau to Clémence.
Well done. Next one, the Hawaiian jersey. This is for someone having the chillest tour, never off the back, never out front. This is a difficult one, I think, because really we haven't seen that much racing yet and the stages have been flat, and therefore we wouldn't necessarily expect to see some riders. So I would like it to be a caveat of this isn't a negative and we understand why they may not have been seen. But the person that sprung to mind for us was Puck Pieterse, because again, she is a very big character. And, you know, when you see her, you notice her, as in she hasn't been off the back or out the front. However, we did see a moment of her doing a very awesome bunny hop over a piece of road furniture.
Yeah, if anyone can jump some road furniture with style, it's Puck. And it reminded us all she was there, and it's like, oh yeah. And I'm just really excited to see her blossom into the race when it's her time. But yeah, so she's given that how big a character she is, we have sort of missed her in a way so far.
Totally. So we're giving her a very temporary, we think, Hawaiian jersey, knowing that her time to shine will probably come soon.
And the final one is the People's Champion, which, of course, you vote for, and therefore, if you haven't seen a poll, that's because there isn't one that exists yet. But what we want you guys to do is comment down below on the video, and you can also do it on Spotify, as Emily noticed the other day, and I will actually check there. So put your comments down below for who you think should be in the first People's Champion vote.
Yeah. I wrote down some names of people that I was thinking of, perhaps Kim Lacourt. I think that was a very big moment for her when she was in yellow. Mavi Garcia, because she won a stage and, you know, she's the oldest rider to do that. Alison Jackson, I don't know whether this is just personal preference, but I just think she's cool as hell. I just love her. So, you know, tell us your suggestions. It'd be interesting to know.
But bear in mind, Kim Lacourt, I believe... I've tried to fact check this, but if anyone knows otherwise, I believe she is the first African to wear the yellow jersey at any of the Tour de France's.
You mean man or woman?
Yes.
You think yes, Katie?
I think yes.
Yes, we think yes.
We do think yes. So that's pretty cool.
The Wild Ones Pro Show is supported by Garmin.
And we are in some really good company because Garmin also supports some of the very best riders in the Tour de France and the Tour de France Femmes.
Yeah, they work with teams like Visma Bikes, Soudal Quickstep, SD Works Pro Time, FDJ Suez, and many more.
And because Garmin provides these teams with trainers, head units and wearables, they've got access to mountains of incredible data.
And they're going to share some of that data with us throughout the coming stages. So we'll get a really interesting insight into the physical demands of the most prestigious bike races in the world.
So please stay tuned for that. And once again, thanks to Garmin for supporting the show.
How would you like to win a Van Rysel RCR-F 105 Di2 worth £5,000?
I would love to. I've ridden that bike. It is proper good.
Well, sorry, Jimmy, you can't. But one of our UK listeners will, thanks to our sponsor, Van Rysel.
That's class. The RCR-F is literally a Tour de France race bike.
Yeah, the official bikes of Decathlon, AG2R, Le Mondial.
The 105 version has the same grade of carbon that the pros ride.
So to enter the draw to win this bike, click the link in our description. You must be a UK resident, age 18 or over, and T's and C's apply. One winner will be chosen by Van Rysel and contacted by them a week after the draw closes at midnight on August 4th. I sound like one of those radio adverts, don't I?
No, it wasn't fast enough. So good luck, and thanks to Van Rysel for supporting the Wild Ones Pro Show.
Cool. Well, I think we should move on to tomorrow's stage. What's in store on stage 5?
Anyone fancy a trip to a theme park?
I hate them. Emily loves them, though.
Absolutely, yes.
So Emily's allowed to go. Jimmy, you can stay home.
Excellent.
The women's peloton apparently fancy a trip to a theme park, and they are lucky because tomorrow's stage begins at Futuroscope.
We did see that very briefly on today's stage. It went past it, didn't it?
They kind of overlap slightly. So
couldn't
when
work
we were
out
peering
quite-
at it, weren't we like, what do they do there?
Yeah, I didn't see any roller coasters.
I think there might be some indoors or
Okay,
something. But they've got
interesting.
water park and it looks quite exciting.
Intrigue.
For the record, this is not an advert for this theme park.
Well, it kind of is. Like the places pay money to be on the starting, have a grander part at the tour. So presumably it is an advert, but they ain't paying us. But I am intrigued.
It's very interesting because usually at the Vuelta you'll get a stage starting at like a meat factory or like in a supermarket. The Giro d'Italia women's definitely rolled out of a shopping centre before.
Did it?
Yeah.
What, from inside?
Inside. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
There's some mad places. So yes, they have paid for the right for us to advertise, well, for the race to advertise them, which they will do when they begin. It's in Châteauneuf-de-Poitou. Hope I got that right. And it's the longest stage of the race tomorrow, 165.3 kilometres. The profile's relatively flat for the first half of the day, with all of the action points packed into the final 40 kilometres. And what a 40k it's set to be. Beginning with an intermediate sprint, the bunch will immediately head onto a Cat 4 climb, followed by another Cat 4, and then the main challenge of the day, the Category 3 Le Maupuy climb. Arriving just 7 kilometres before the finish line, the 2.8 kilometre ascent begins with a bonus second sprint, which will ensure that all the GC hopefuls are present and correct heading onto the climb. It will be an early chance to see who has the legs under pressure, and the frantic descent off the climb may see gaps appear as the riders fight for the finish line.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. This should be a bit spicy, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a GC battle, I'm pretty certain we'll have some fun breakaway antics to come.
Yeah, the bonus second is a really interesting way of influencing what happens then at the end of the race, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's like engineering where they want their points of excitement and explosivity. And from there, it's just a pure slog up the climb. And will the GC girls go for the bonus seconds and then look at each other and let some late breakaway riders have their shot? Probably not. They'll probably just peg it to the line, I think. Nice. But it should be really exciting to see.
I know we don't normally do it at this point, but I think it is very important we check the Fantasy League. It has updated.
Is it? Okay.
I just, it's good for everyone just to be able to keep tabs on where it is.
Who's winning the Fantasy League, Jimmy? Please tell us.
That would be, so sad. That would be Jimmy Nichols, obviously.
Actually true for once.
I've lost it. Where's it gone?
I've got it on my... Let me do it. Okay. Jimmy is in the lead, 1,774 points. Very good, Jimmy. Next in line, second, is Benny on 1,629 points. Third place is me, 1,440. And bringing up the rear for now on 769 points is Katie. But if you remember, this is how it started in the men's race as well, and then there was a big flipperoo. So
we're going into my time tomorrow.
Exactly.
Just so we can talk about me a little bit more. Just 1,774 points. That would, if someone had that amount of points, that would make them 83rd overall. So that's
in the whole league.
Pretty big deal.
Not even in the CADE League, on the whole site.
Yeah, on the whole of Velo Games, fam.
Nice.
So yeah, whoever would have that amount of points, pretty big deal.
Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts, Jimmy. That's all I'm saying. Well, we shall bring you all the action from stage 5 tomorrow. Same time, same place. And until then, goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Oh, we didn't do a fluff up. Well, that was it.